This is part 3 on booby traps that were encountered, that were emplaced by the Viet Cong or VC during the Vietnam War using hand grenades. Now I'll give you this one piece of information on there may be a 4th video on this, because there is one particular trap I tried doing. It was going to be the 2nd video, but after I got it put up in a tree, I couldn't get the trigger system to work correctly, so I am still checking on that one. If I find the information I need and I can fix it and get it to work, then there will be a 4th video, but it's possible I'm not going to find what I'm looking for that trap. That particular trap involves tripping the tripwire, and then it drops multiple hand grenades down onto the trail underneath. Now, our little scenario for this video, our patrol came across a VC encampment, a small group of VC. Firefight ensued. We chased them out of the area. Well, they didn't take everything with them, so we got to go through it. We got to find information to send up to S2, G2, the intel section. We also can't leave any usable items behind for the enemy to use, and the souvenir hunters are going to be looking for stuff also. So what we have here is some items that could potentially be booby trapped. Now, as you see here, we got an ammo can sitting out there. Looks like there's some important documents inside there. Let's go up and let's see what we got. Now let's open up the can. Oh yeah, there's all kinds of stuff in here. We got some maps. We got some manuals. There's all kinds of good info in here that G2 would want. So we're just going to take the can with us. I mean, they put it in there, so we'll just carry the can with us, because who knows, maybe there's information on the can that S2 may want also. So let's just grab it and bring it along. Oh, I heard something. Something blew up. Underneath it was a fragmentation grenade with a mousetrap firing device. This particular firing device is an M5 pressure release firing device, or booby trap device. This is a US made one. These require 5 or more pounds of pressure on the pressure plate to keep from setting it off. Now the Soviets, Chinese, other countries, they make their own version of this. They all work about the same. Now on the bottom of the mousetrap, there's what's called a standard base, which screws into the threads on the fuse wells for US ordnance. Attached to the bottom of it would be a blasting cap. So the enemy went through, they removed the fuse from the grenade here. They then put on the mousetrap, put it inside a hole that's just the size of the grenade. The top was just barely over the top of the ground. They put a piece of wood over the top to maintain that pressure on the pressure plate, and then they put the weight on top of it. And as soon as the weight was disturbed, the striker went flying. It set off the percussion cap in the standard base, set off the blasting cap, and the grenade detonated right in someone's face. Now, we also have here weapons. Well, we can't leave the weapons behind. We got to take them with us, so we got to destroy them. Well, if we're going to destroy them, we need to gather them all up. So, well, we'll just grab it. You know, the gorilla probably ran off, you know, didn't want to fight, so. Uh-oh. Hidden behind it, if you can see here, is an M26 fragmentation grenade, which was tied to the tree. There's a piece of tripwire tied to the sling swivel. which was tied to the pull ring on the grenade. The pin was loosened up on the grenade, and as soon as the weapon was pulled away from the tree, pulled out the pin and set off the grenade. Well, now we got ourselves here a little souvenir. We got a North Vietnamese flag. One thing that the communists noticed is U.S. troops, if they came across a flag, a banner, posters, anything like that, they always ripped it down. Either to take it with them or just to get rid of it, just to destroy it. So, you know, hey, I want myself an enemy flag, so I'll just grab it, yank it. Uh-oh, I set off a booby trap. Tied to the flag was a pull ring going to a friction fuse on a hand grenade. Now this particular one, it would be a VC hand grenade, a stick type grenade. I don't have one. What I have that's similar that works for training is a World War II style German potato masher. You find these at gun shows all over the place. Similar concept for setting it off. Friction type fuse inside here. You pulled the pull ring, ignited it, set the time element going, and then the actual explosive capsule, the explosive charge would go off. Now the flag one, if you would encounter this in the field, it was typically tied to a branch, and that grenade was up on top of the branch hidden in the leaves, and then it was tied to the fuse on the grenade. All the weight was not on the pull string for the grenade, obviously, because you didn't want the wind to pick up and set it off. So there would be a little piece of wire, rope, vine, or something like that, loosely tied to the tree. I use tripwire here, or to the branch. And then you had another little piece of wire that was tied right to the pull string, and that was tightened better than it was the string that was holding it to the tree. So when you pulled on the flag, the piece that was holding it to the tree breaks, and you still got the one attached to the pull string on the grenade. You're pulling and you ignite the grenade. Now that particular one was instantaneous. The VC would make sure that the fuses on those were the ones that detonated as soon as it was pulled, because that's the only time you can guarantee that the GI is going to be in the area. Otherwise he could pull that flag and be, you know, 10-20 feet away before that grenade goes off. Now this information is primarily meant for reenactors, for people that are giving historical lessons. Potentially for in the classroom. I mean, for all I know, there's some high school teacher that's showing these videos to their students on the ingenuity of the Viet Cong. Who knows? Now, there is a video that was made by the U.S. Marine Corps, 1967. It's called Viet Cong Mines and Booby Traps. Someone recently posted that on YouTube. I'm going to put a link to that video in the description. I suggest you go over and watch it. I used to show that video to my troops before we did our hands-on element in booby trap training, so that they would get in the right mindset, they would get some ideas. You know, it doesn't give you a lot of information on how to set the stuff in, but as long as you got more than 2 brain cells inside that skull of yours, you should be able to figure it out pretty easily. Now, as I've said before, do not set up any booby traps. Currently, because of laws for state and federal, you will go to prison if you get caught, and you will go to prison for a very long time. This is information for historical purposes. Or barring that, if we end up in some type of without rule of law situation, a ROL situation, or an SHTF situation, well, maybe this gives you somewhat of an idea on how you can defend yourself. Because you can't stay awake for 24 hours a day. I will do other videos on different types of VC and NVA booby traps as I get a hold of the materials and decide how I want to lay it out in the videos for you. Now, for all my engineer brothers in the Patriot and militia movements, always remember, essay ons.